in the 80s.
What's up, allies? We are back. It's Jim, it's Larry, and Larry, it's Jim. It's
You gonna count it?
good Lord. 1, 2, 3.
There you go. Winner.
I have
Cheeky baby.
I mean, Cheeky Baby just humbled the yellow jabroni, but I don't. That was. Are you angry? Are you okay over there?
No, this goes in today's topic.
It does actually.
Which deals with scalpers.
It does. It deals with angry people and toys.
Yes,
yes.
Which is what we're here to talk about today.
So, folks, here's the thing. Some time ago, it's got to be like a year ago or whatever, Mattel announces that they're going to do an Eternia playset. They're going to do an Eternia playset, an updated one.
That's Hasbro and that's LJN.
Yes. Well, now we've got Mattel. We've got a whole triumvirate here at this point.
There we go. Till all are one.
Absolutely. So, in any case, they decide they're going to do an Eternia playset. They do put up pre-sales, and of course, people start buying the thing. Well, it's started to be sent out. We know that it's starting to be delivered and so forth. And what is happening now is different retail outlets in the toy business, whether it be our friends like at Eternia Dreams or other outfits, elsewhere on the Ethernet and so on and so forth, are beginning to sell these things and putting a price tag on it. And some collectors are up in arms over this, and they're screaming and yelling about the price tag that these companies are putting on it and saying foul, foul, no fair, foul. And so we decided to talk about it today. The question being, is this scalping what they're doing, or is it simply just good business? And this is the question that we have in front of us today. I think of myself as a larger collector in terms of volume of what I buy than you do. But
I'm
do you
a quality guy.
Yeah, I mean, are there thoughts you have on this? Where are you standing on this?
There are a few. First, shout outs to Secret Galaxy for giving me the line "Till all are one" because I saw it when they were showing Hasbro and when Hasbro was buying different properties because that was very
but it comes from Transformers.
Yeah,
you can't give them the credit for that.
Well, that's where the idea came from because we were talking about different toy lines.
Gotcha.
But to come full circle, back around and upside down and left and right, this is what I do to find my train of thought. Mm-hmm. And there it is.
Oh, right. I'm so glad.
So here's how I feel about the whole scalping thing. People are given enough time, ample time. You and I would both consider, hey, we're going to drop this product in a week. Are you interested in this product in a week? If you are, please get in line and go ahead and get that product.
It's with the pre-sales is what you're talking about. Sure.
Which is the best way to get any product. Because I've stood in line for a few pre-sales at this point. I stood in line for a pre-sale for when they released the Havoc Staff, the Power Sword, and the Eternia Tower, from Mega Constructs or Mega Connects or Mega something.
Well, it was Mega Constructs. I think they were just calling it Mega now. I don't know. It's changing so quickly for me to pay attention.
And you will definitely see my review on one of those products at least. Yeah, it's back. Mm-hmm. But I have no issue with people standing in line waiting for a pre-sale. What I do have an issue for is I feel that you should be able to satisfy the onesies and twosies first, and then you sell to the bulk people.
Well, I'm not sure that
front load.
I'm not sure that that's not what they're doing. I don't know that that's. Well, I don't know that that's. So Mattel, don't blame us. I'm not saying that's what's going on.
We don't know how you're doing, but clearly the collectors are going to be in line because they want onesies and twosies. You stood in line for these things yourself when getting Wonder Bread, He-Man, and this, that, and the other thing.
Grizzlor, absolutely, yeah.
And speaking of Grizzlor, if you really want to see a good Grizzlor, go check out Masters of the Universe Revelations.
Revolution, you mean? Yeah, God, was it good? Yeah,
perfect.
Yeah,
but we stood in line, and our onesies and twosies got filled. Now, at the back end of the line, you get these people who get 50, 60, 70, upwards to 100 pieces, which, again, I have no stake in the claim. You know, I have no dog in the fight. If you want to buy 100 of these things, that's fine. Because it's clear what they're going to do. They're going to take them in, they're going to price them, and then they're going to release them to the people.
Sure.
Or hoard them. Speaking of hoarding, remember when I got that Battle Bones, the Mega Constructs Battle Bones?
Yeah.
The guy who sold it to me probably was sitting on mounds of these and was releasing them one at a time on eBay.
Yeah.
I knew what I was getting into before I bought it. I knew it was going to be like an exclusive catch-all because they only released it at San Diego Comic-Con.
And you had to pay a fortune for it.
And well, my wife got it to me for a Christmas gift, but I was a very good boy that year.
But it was still well above what the original retail value.
Oh, very much.
My
so.
God, yes.
Yeah. It was astronomical compared to piece to price.
Yeah.
Because if anybody who's building Lego, for every 100 pieces, it's about $10. So if you keep that in the back of your mind when you're going to go buy these things, that's why some of it costs so much. Truth be told, though, I knew what I was getting into. I knew I was going to have to buy an aftermarket piece. I knew that the price was going to go up, and I knew that there were guys out there who hoarded like 100 to 200 of these pieces, and eventually they're going to slowly roll out of them. To avoid that, I got in the pre-sale line for the Havoc Staff, the Power Sword, and the Eternius set.
Yeah.
Because I knew it was going to happen again.
And it's important to note that because you came late to the game to the Mega Construct stuff, you started getting it, you had missed the Battle Bones. So you knew going into it that was the piece that was gonna kill you.
Well, there were other pieces that killed me too. Like the first edition of Scareglow. You know, piece that big, you know, next to him, He-Man $5, Scareglow $20.
Yeah,
I was like, $20 for this? Why? Because it was aftermarket, and I knew I was late to the game.
Yeah.
When you're 2 or 3 years late to the game, expect to pay higher prices because the value of the stuff has increased because they're now chase items.
Yeah.
Too easy there. But if you're complaining and moaning that there's not enough product, even though they have a pre-sale line and say, hey, you can pre-buy this going into it, don't be shocked at the back end when somebody buys 100 of them and then all of a sudden you want one because you decided not to get in the pre-sale line, that they're going to charge a holding fee because they were able to get in the pre-sale line and get it and made sure that it got produced.
Well, and I think it's important to note that specifically when you start talking about retail businesses.
Yes.
You know, they had to put out all that money on the pre-sale.
Yeah, it's not farm to table like you do in the pre-sale.
And then wait until the product arrived to even begin to start to sell it. And I think that for the average person who's never owned a business before, that they fail to understand that retail locations that are carrying inventory, they basically have already spent the money.
Yes.
But they're not getting anything off of it until they sell it. So from the time that money went in on the pre-sale, and they wait, say, a year for it or something like that, they're waiting this extended period of time in which that money is gone. They can't make any money on it. They can't make any interest on it. It's out there. It prevents them from buying other collections, other stock, whatever. They finally receive it. They still have to pay an employee to bring it in and process it. They still have to pay someone to sell it and package it up and send it out.
No, my friend. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
What you're saying, but we need to back the train up real quick before that even happens. Okay. First, nobody has cash on hand to buy 50 to 100 of these sets.
Well, I mean, a retail location may.
Some may. But usually they do it over credit card, right?
Oh, there's that too,
okay,
yeah.
So you're taking your credit card, you're putting it down, you're buying 100 sets, now you got to pay interest on the credit card, right? And then you have something called shipping and handling, right?
Absolutely.
So depending on how big the piece is that needs to get to you, it's like, you know, 10, 20, 30 bucks. All right. So now that piece is going to be shipped to you, and you've already paid 20 to 30 bucks in shipping and handling on each piece, not just the 100.
Well, depending on what you're getting, they may waive the shipping fee or whatever. That's possible too. I didn't get one of them, so I'm not sure what they did in this particular instance. But
I'd be willing that there's shipping and handling, and like you said, they pay tax on it.
Sure.
So you know, for $100, 6% sales tax. That's $6, right?
And that's here in this state. It could be different elsewhere, depending on where it's at.
So if you think $6 times 100, you know, that's that's $600
Yeah.
on top of the the money they spent for the 100 pieces.
Yeah.
We're just rounding here because
Yeah,
that's the number.
I mean, bottom line, what it comes down to is there is so much more than just the original cost of the item
Right.
in the overhead, and then if they have got a location, which I'm sure they have a building at a minimum.
Yeah.
If they're even if they're just mail order, they've got a building. If not a retail location, they're paying all the overhead on that, and so
Well, and then you got to find a place to send it. Where are you going to send 50 Eternia or 100 Eternia sets? Like, who has that kind of space in their house?
yeah, and then I think with this one, I think there was a limit like that you could order at a time.
Mm-hmm.
So that means they had to sign up for a new email.
Yeah.
They go through all this process. That was time. Time is money in that business. So the bottom line is ultimately what it comes down to is, is it really scalping? Can we even call it that in that instance? When you consider just how much overhead that they have in it, they've got to make something. And I think the piece was like $300 to start with, or some ridiculous amount of money.
And
so,
we'll make it easy on the people, all right? Yellow Jabroni. God, we hate him.
We do.
We just don't like anything that he represents.
Cheeky Baby number one.
Cheeky Baby always number one, which is why Cheeky Baby always bigger than the Yellow Jabroni.
Absolutely.
Anyway, Yellow Jabroni costs $3, right?
At the time, yeah.
We see him at the site, costs $3, right? Mm-hmm. We go ahead, we pay the sales tax on him. We use our credit card to buy him. Because, we don't have cash on hand at the point, and they're only accepting credit cards, which is the other thing that people need to realize. Some of these places don't accept cash. You need to have a credit card.
Yeah.
Or a bank card or something with tracking numbers on it. All right? So we paid the tax. We paid the interest. We also paid the shipping and handling to have him come here. Boom. Now he's here. This $3 Hogan, let's say he's $5. All right? Now that's $5. Okay, I'm into this character for $5. I need to make money off this guy.
So you're probably putting anywhere between a $7 and a $10 price tag on them.
Easily.
Yeah.
Probably anywhere between 7 or 8 because I feel that's just good business. Why are you going to charge double what you got? I mean,
it probably depends on whether or not you have payroll that you've got.
Yeah, there's that too. So that's the expenditure of some of these retail stores. Now the eBay stores, I don't really know how they operate because they're charging the shipping and handling on the back end, so the consumer has to pay for that.
Well, but there's also the issue of paying the auction fees and all that sort of thing, which the seller has to do. So, yeah, there's equal things like that. The bottom line here is I just don't really think that the attacks that's on the retail vendors who have these things and are putting a larger price tag on it is fair. I really don't think so. I understand potentially why it's there. There are some people who may not have access to a credit card. Maybe they didn't have access to the money at the time,
right,
and figured that on the back end they might know a guy who's willing to. I mean, I know Alan, for instance, if it's a high value enough item, will give you sometimes 30 days to pay, sometimes 90 days, depending on what it is.
Yep.
I know when we did the opening and he had the $15,000 figures, for instance, there was a payment plan available for that. So maybe they figure, okay, well, with a payment plan, I can do it, so I'll wait until it gets there. And I get that. Mm-hmm. But that comes at a premium. There is a premium cost associated with that. And it is what it is. And I just don't think that it's realistic for people to be complaining about it.
And again, if you're late to the game like I was for the Mega Constructs, Mega, whatever the heck we're going to call them.
The Battle Bones.
Yeah, the Battle Bones. You know that this thing has been sitting around for 2 years, 3 years for somebody to pick it up, which means it's just been sitting around and collected dust.
Yeah.
All right? Again, late to the game. You know how much the product is worth now because you're late to the game and you know that you can only get them in certain places.
Absolutely.
Which means some dude had to sit on that thing for 2 years to make however much money it originally went for sale at the San Diego Comic-Con.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Not only that, but then you know where you can go get the product when you eventually have the money, understanding that there is going to be a markup price. If you miss the boat on I've missed the boat on so many different things.
Oh, so have I, yeah.
So many different things. But I'm not going to take it out on the retailer for having that product that I wanted, and I'm going to go ahead and buy it. And if I was smart and wise and in the know at the time, like most of these people who are complaining about scalping, you were in the know. You knew this product was coming out. You had the opportunity to get in line, but you decided not to get in line because you were waiting for some reason, even though that these items on pre-sale go fast.
Yeah.
I mean, you yourself kept refreshing your screen for something. Was it the Wonder Man, or was it?
I don't.
You said there was something that you missed out on.
Yeah, I don't remember which one it was, but there was one I missed out on, and then those of you who were around during the Motu Classics days know that could be a similar thing where it would, an item would go on sale that day, and man, you had to be right on the trigger to get it ordered before they ran out of them. So. Yeah, it kind of is what it is, and I understand how people feel, but I think it's fair. Now, hey, listen, this is just our opinion. Mm-hmm. We could be wrong, and if you think we are, by all means, talk to us down in the comments section. We're willing to listen. We're willing to debate. We're willing to have civil discourse. So by all means, if we've missed something here, if you think we're way off, let us know. If you agree with us, let us know that too. And we'll be more than happy to revisit this and talk about it more again and answer questions or take comments.
Well, here's the other thing. Let me throw a caveat or a spin off that. All right? Let's say that you're late to the pre-sale. Mm-hmm. Ah, shucks, you missed the pre-sale.
Sure.
Right? And this guy buys 100 of whatever they happen to be. 100, what did they say? Gigawatts?
Widgets. Yeah.
He buys 100 widgets,
sure.
Right? Come to find out, you can still buy a widget there on Hasbro or Mattel or LJN.
Yeah.
And this guy is now sitting on 100 widgets. He can't move.
And I've seen that happen to dealers before. So, it does work both ways, guys. It really, really, really does. But
it all depends on which direction you're willing to go.
Yes. But unless we get some feedback, I think we've beat this horse to death. So, for Larry, it's Jim. For Jim, it's Larry. And we will see you next time.
He deserves it. Count again.